Welcome back to Brand Sports Talk, everybody. In today's video, I'll be giving you my game picks for Week 11. But before we get into that, I'd like to say that the injury report will be in the description box down below in all capital letters, and the link will be down at CBS. Shout out to CBS, always use guys for the injury report to let you guys know who is questionable, who is not going to play, and who's basically probable to play, etc., etc. But that will be in the link in the description box down below. So let's get to the game picks. First, we have the Jets at Washington. The Jets are 2-7. Washington is 1-8. Washington has 0 touchdowns in 3 straight games. First time since 1940. But the way the Jets are playing, their season to me is basically over. I think Washington wins at home. Both teams will end up 2-8. Just a gut feeling. I think Dwayne Haskins will finally get his first career win as a part of Washington. I think Washington wins this game. Saints at the Buccaneers. Saints are 7-2. Buccaneers are 3-6. Drew Brees is 4-3 career record versus Winston head-to-head. In this game, the Buccaneers are finally back home. I know they were home last week, but they're also home this week because they've been on the road for so long, and their schedule is actually very, very crazy. But Tampa Bay is at home. Tampa Bay, like I said, is 3-6. I'm going with Tampa Bay in this game. I think Tampa Bay will end up 4-6, and the Saints will be 7-3. I think Drew Brees will then be 4-4 against Jameis Winston. I'm picking Tampa Bay at home. I think for some reason I feel like Jameis Winston is gonna have a very, very good game. No, he's probably. I don't want him throwing no interceptions because I know that's the running joke that he throws interceptions, but a lot of those interceptions are not on him. We'll debate that another time. But I'm going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game. Next, we have the Broncos at the Vikings. Dalvin Cook versus the Broncos' top 10 defense. Now, the Broncos are 3-6 and the Vikings are 7-3. The Broncos had that win over the Browns. I don't think it's going to go this way with the Vikings. The Vikings have a good defense, and they have a good offense, a good passing game and running game, and they just have a good defense overall. To me, the Vikings will advance to be 8-3 on the season. I think they will beat Denver convincingly. I don't think this is going to be a close game, and I really don't think Denver's going to win. Denver doesn't have a quarterback yet. Once Denver gets a quarterback, I think then they will start to win games, but that won't be until next season. Next, we have the Bills at the Dolphins. The Bills are 6-3 and the Dolphins are 2-7. The Bills are 4-1 versus the Dolphins since 2017. And after this game, they will be 5-1 because the Bills are going to win because their defense is too great. Ryan Fitzpatrick is facing them again. Listen, he's a good journeyman quarterback. He's a good hand to have that quarterback when you need a quarterback to come fill in. I still think they're still doing Josh Rosen. They're not doing him any favors down there. Josh Rosen, to me, is a good quarterback. Certain quarterbacks need good teams. Imagine if you put Josh Rosen behind that Dallas Cowboys offensive line and see what he could really do and the way he can throw that football. Josh Rosen is better than what we sit here and advertise him to be. To me, he's not a failure. I think he was a top 10 pick at quarterback. We got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. He is not a failure at quarterback. We still need to give him a chance. That Arizona situation was messed up. Then he goes to Miami. Supposedly it's tank for Tua, and praise up to Tua because he just got hurt and his hip injury, so this might affect the draft. I don't know about any reports yet, but this whole thing of a tank for Tua and all these different things like that, I don't think Josh Rosen's getting a fair shake in Miami. But with that being said, the Bills just have a better team, so I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Colts. The Jaguars are 4-5. Nick Foles is back. The Colts are 5-4. In this matchup, I feel like the Jaguars are going to win because Nick Foles is back. Obviously, he's better than Gardner Minshew. Minshew, I think he will take over Jacksonville when it's really time for him to take over for that franchise because they do have a nice guy for their franchise to take the ball moving forward. But I think Nick Foles right now, being a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, with this team, he can go far if they continue to put the right pieces around him in Jacksonville. And also the coach, each game decided by one possession this season. I think Jacksonville gets it done. Jackson will be 5-5, and so will the Colts be 5-5 after they lose this game. I'm picking Jacksonville. Cowboys at the Lions. Cowboys are 5-4. The Lions are 3-5-1. Dak Prescott has lost 3 straight non-divisional road games. I think the streak ends here. The Dallas Cowboys will be victorious over the Detroit Lions. I'm picking the Cowboys. They just have the better offense. They have the better defense. I know the Lions traded Quandre Diggs. That was not popular in the locker room. A lot of people did not like it. But at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys are going to win. I just have a good feeling that they're going to win this game because of their defense and the way they're playing. And I feel like later in the season, now that their schedule's getting tough, they need to win against the team, especially because they're in the same conference, which is the NFC. They need to start winning more games against non-divisional opponents. This game is going to be the start for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going with Dallas. Falcons at the Panthers. In this game, the Falcons are 2-7. Man, it's so disappointing season. The Panthers are 5-4. At the end of this game, the Panthers will be 6-4, and the Falcons will be 2-8. The Falcons have won 5 of the last 6 versus the Panthers. That will not be the case anymore. The Panthers will win this game because, to me, they have the better team. They're playing well better. The Falcons just can't get it together. I think Devontae Freeman's hurt again. He has not had a good season. I know I'm being critical of him, but come on. Like, you out for the rest of last year, you got hurt. You out for the whole season. You came back, and this season, the whole team has just been atrocious. Like I said, the only person who's been playing well there has been Julio and basically Calvin Ridley. The Atlanta Falcons, to me, you might have a new head coach next year. The season's basically over after you lose this game because you'll be 2-8. But I'm going with the Panthers in this game. They just have the better team, better defense. Right now, it seems like their quarterback is playing better. I know Matt Ryan did get hurt too this year. I think he was out for 1 game, but now he's back or whatever. But the Panthers are just a better team. I'm going with the Panthers. Texans at the Ravens. I think in this matchup, the Texans are 6-3, and the Ravens are 7-2. I think at the end of this, the Texans will be 7-3, and the Ravens will be 7-3 as well. It says the battle of MVP candidates: Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. This is a battle, and I think Deshaun Watson will win this one because of just his team. I know the Texans' pass defense is not that great, but for some reason, Deshaun Watson could throw the ball just against anybody. And I know Lamar Jackson's going to have a field day against his secondary because when Lamar Jackson plays secondaries that are not good, he does have a field day against them. Look at the Miami Dolphins that he played against. So for me in this matchup, I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think they will go, tat for tat, which means that, Lamar scores, Deshaun scores, and they go back and forth. But for me in this game, I think Deshaun Watson will edge out Lamar Jackson in this matchup. I'm going with the Texans. Cardinals at 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers. The 49ers are 8-1. They just lost that game to Seattle. I think they're going to be hungry, vengeful. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to want to prove his doubters wrong because they feel like he ruined the game for the 49ers. I don't think so. The Seahawks play tough. The Seahawks always play tough when they're in the division. That's just how it goes. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a chip on his shoulder this week going into the postseason because they're 8-1. Obviously, they win 9 games, 10 games. They're going to make the playoffs. So, the 49ers and the Cardinals. Cardinals are 3-6-1. The Cardinals have won 8 of the last 9 against the 49ers. To me, they're going to lose. The 49ers have the better team overall. I know the Cardinals did put up a good fight against this team, but I think now that they face him, they know what to expect. The 49ers are going to pounce on them because they lost last week in overtime on Monday Night Football. Patriots at the Eagles. The Patriots are 8-1. The Eagles are 5-4. 4 of the last 5 matchups decided by 1 possession, including the playoffs. I will say in this matchup, I feel like the Eagles are going to win. And that's kind of tough for me to pick because the Patriots are off for bye week. After the bye weeks, they're usually good in November, December, going into January. They're very, very good. But I feel like Philly's going to edge one out. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be by 1 possession. It's probably going to be a late scoring touchdown. But I am picking Philadelphia to win. And I think after this loss, New England's going to pick it back up. But I do think they lose this game against Philadelphia. I know the Patriots have a better defense, but I do feel like Carson Wentz low-key has something to prove because this team, the Eagles, beat the Patriots in Super Bowl, and he wasn't the quarterback. So I feel like he's going to have that chip on his shoulder as well. And the Patriots, I know, like I said, they have a good defense, but I feel like Carson Wentz is going to bring his A game. I know he doesn't have Deshaun Jackson. He's out for the season. And also, Darren Sproles out for the season. The Eagles have not been performing well. The defense has been hurt. But I feel like Carson Wentz is going to get it done. Carson Wentz is going to be the man. I'm going with Philadelphia. Bengals at the Raiders. You guys already know the Raiders are going to win this game. The Bengals are going to go to 0-10. The Raiders are going to be 5-4 right now. They'll move to 6-4. The Bengals have allowed 173 rushing yards per game this season, the most in the NFL. The Raiders are going to run all over this team, and they're going to pass over this team. Derek Carr is low-key having an MVP season, but nobody's talking about it because of the whole fiasco that went down with AB and the Raiders, and a lot of people gave up on the Raiders. I already told you guys in the previous game pick videos that I always felt like the Raiders are going to be good once they get to Vegas. Now, I don't know if they're still going to have Derek Carr. I think John Gruden may still move on and want a younger quarterback or whatever to have his quarterback, to have his guy, the guy that he drafts. I don't know about that yet. But I am going with the Raiders. They're just a better team overall. Next, we have the Bears at the Rams. I'm going with the Rams in this game. I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. I'm sorry, I don't. I trusted them last week, and I think they did win, if I'm not mistaken. But for me, I just don't trust Mitchell Trubisky, especially against the Rams. the Rams here. I know they lost to the Steelers, which was like, man, it was just so crazy that they lost to the Steelers. But I don't trust Mitch Trubisky. I know they beat the Lions. I picked them to beat the Lions last week, and they beat the Lions. But this week, I don't trust them. They're in LA. They might be filled with Chicago fans, but for me, I'm going with the Rams. It says the Bears lost 4 of the last 5 games, started 3-1 this season. The Bears will be 4-6 this season. The Rams will go on to be 6-4. And I feel like after this game, what you guys see, Chicago needs to move on from Mr. Trubisky. I've been holding out hope for this guy, but it just doesn't seem like he's going to get it done. I'm going with the Rams in this matchup. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about the games of the week. Let me know how you guys feel. Who are you guys picking to win these matchups? Tell me where you think I'm wrong at, where you think I'm right at. Let me know in the comment section down below. Until next time, guys, I will see you next time for more videos. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with your friends and family. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.